Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My Dandavat Pranam devotees. So this is a brief answer to a question I received in Messenger, and the question was regarding a previous video I believe that someone saw, and a statement that I made regarding having friendship with Sri Guru. And they mentioned to me, Dandavat Sadhan Siddha Prabhu, they mentioned to me that the idea of having friendship with Sri Guru doesn't appear to be proper, because Guru should always be seen, and they quoted from the 7th verse of Guru Ashtakam as Sakshar Haritvena Samashta Shastriya. So Sakshar Haritva means you should be seen like Bhagavan. So how can one see Guru in terms of a friendship? But one has to always have the mood of seeing him as the representation of Bhagavan. So I answered the devotee back, but he asked that I could address it in general because he felt that the question could arise from anyone who saw the video, the previous video. It wasn't just previous to this one, but it was some time ago. But I mentioned to him in a very short answer, you're aspiring, if you've come in this line, for the service of God Himself in the form of Radha and Krishna. You're aspiring for service to Radha and Krishna in either Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, or Madhurya Rasa, especially Manjari Bhav. So if you say that you cannot have friendship with Sri Guru, how is it possible to cultivate a relationship of parental affection for God, fraternal affection for God, or conjugal affection for God? So the very nature of what we aspire for in relationship to Guru is intimacy of relationship with Bhagavan. So Guru being the manifest representation in this world of Bhagavan's Kripa, Bhagavan's mercy, the development of Vishramba is very important. So I also mentioned to him that the idea of intimacy of friendship with Sri Guru was not something that I was stating, but that it is stated in the very first instructions on bhakti practice by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. That Guru Pad Asraya Tata Diksha Shikshadi Vishrambena Guru Seva. Right? That actually the height of the relationship with Guru is called Vishrambena Guru Seva. The word Vishramba means intimacy. It means closeness. It means the dismissing of the separation of identities, and it allows for a complete and unfettered exchange between Guru and Sishya. So at that point, Gurudev, because Guru doesn't have the Abhiman that I'm Guru anyway. He has the Abhiman, I am servant of Guru Parampara. And in serving Guru Parampara, I am bestowing loving friendship on someone who's approaching the Guru Parampara. This is the vision of Sri Guru. The disciples' Maryada means etiquette, is intact and is not violated by intimacy. Much in the same way that a husband and a wife, ideally, I'm not speaking about Kali Yuga, I'm speaking ideally, that there is a natural respect one to another, but that respect doesn't hinder the Vishramba intimacy of husband and wife in their mutually living in Grahastha life. What to speak of just Grahastha life, even in fraternal relationships, the idea that I respect someone does not diminish the nature of our friendship. You understand? Our feeling of being close. So we should not think that it is an axiomatic byproduct of intimacy that etiquette is lost or that respect is lost. What is taken away to some degree is those things which are based in Aishwarya, means the mood of extraordinary opulence of Guru, just like we practice in a way to aspire for removing, in this line, the opulence of Bhagavan, right? We remove that conception of the opulence of Bhagavan in order to serve the sweetness of Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself, Chaitanya Charitamrita, requested, Aishwar Gyanite Sakala Jagata Muramashit, Aishwar Shaitila Prem, Nahi Mor Preet. That when love is made, Shaitila means like contracted or made feeble by the knowledge of Bhagavan's opulence, then it takes away to some degree that love that he wants to taste in reciprocation. Similarly, all this month during Kartik Mas, of course today is Bhishma Panchak here, and it starts the last 5 days of Kartik. I'm not speaking on that now because I think later on our evening class, our phone conference, we will be speaking about Bhishma Panchak. So, but the point here being that during the Kartik Mas, we've been singing Iti Drikshwali Labir Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimanjantam Ayang Payantam Tadi Ishita Geshwar Bhaktar Chitatvam. So here, Satyavrat Muni is stating, let it be known to all the devotees who have knowledge of the Aishwarya of Bhagavan. You should know that the depth of love, which will bring Bhagavan under control, meaning the highest form of reciprocation with Bhagavan, is born in the intimacy shown by Swagosham, his own near and dear associates in Vrindavan. So the entire process of bhakti given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is geared towards love in madhurya, in sweetness, in intimacy. That begins with the relationship with Sri Guru. It is not dismissive of the fact that Krishna is God because you want to serve him with the mood of intimacy. His Bhagavata, means his godhood, can't be taken away by anything. He is God. That can't be taken away. But it can be dominated by love in such a way that his Bhagavata is put under the control of the sweetness of love. That is the entire prospect of this line of bhakti. How will that not begin in relation with Sri Guru? Again, I've mentioned that the nature of seeing Guru as Sarvadeva Mayo Guru, as Sakshat Haritva, means directly the form of God, the sum total of all devatas, everything. It doesn't remove that. That is the glory of Guru Tattva. But the nature of the intimate relationship fosters the growth of bhakti, especially in regard to the aspired for goal in this line. And what does it mean, friendship with Guru? Perhaps because we're couching the term friendship in the historical idea of mundane friendships that we've had in the material world, where it's not really based on deep love and affection. In many cases, it's based on the mutual sense enjoyment given from one person to another. In fact, all relationships in the material world void of Krishna consciousness are like that. They're pretty much based in, Krishna consciousness here means God consciousness, so most relationships are exploitive in nature. They can be subtly exploitive or grossly exploitive, but pretty much because the actual nature of true prema is not part of it. And if Bhagavan is not the center, if God is not the center, that relationship is mostly self-interest. But therefore we're not looking at the relationship of intimacy between Guru and disciple in that way. We're looking that etiquette is observed. I will see my Guru Pada Padma and offer Dandavat Pranam. I will think of the glory of my Guru in so many ways, forms, and fashions. My Guru Dev will see, this is my bosom loving representation of Krishna's kripa on me to give facility in parampara to allow the flow of bhakti to take place. This is the mindset of Sri Guru. Because Guru, I mentioned this before, is a function. You understand? Gu Shabdat Andakarasha, Ru Shabdat Andakarasha Nirodita. The removal of darkness by the illumination of transcendental knowledge is the function of Guru. A sadhu performs that function. And the reason I'm couching it this way or describing it this way is because if somebody identifies Who identifies I am Guru? You understand? Who identifies like I am Guru? That's not an identity. That in fact, that identity would be adverse to the identity of Dasoshmi. I am a servant of Bhagavan. So if you look historically at all of the acharyas, they don't identify that I am Guru. They identify that I am the servant of Bhagavan performing the function called Guru. And a disciple identifies that sadhu with that function and calls them Gurudev. The appearance of that function by this sadhu on behalf of Bhagavan. He's performing that function or she's performing that function. So the disciples, Sishyas identify, this is my Gurudev. And by using my, it indicates mamata, which is also part of intimacy. Vishramba means mamata, a sense of myness. But also Guru has that for disciple. This is my bosom friend. They've come to allow me seva in parampara to allow the flow of bhakti to come. And because of that, there's a natural regard for Sri Guru. And there's a natural love and affection for Sri Guru. And when you obfuscate that by social status or social structure, oh, Gurudev is like this, and I'm always very much like this, and never the twain shall meet, and every time I see Guru, oh, Guru, 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 Guru. Right? You understand? And there's no love and affection. And, you know, I have to talk to the secretary, who will talk to the assistant, who will talk to the second-hand person, and my relationship with Guru is always convoluted by so many distant, opulent factors. It is not Guru Tattva. And this was not also something that Srila Prabhupada did. The functions of the social dynamic grew to a point where obviously it's difficult for every single disciple to approach Srila Prabhupada and have the ability for rendering externally Vishramba Seva, means intimate service. So those who were by situation or qualification or whatever in that position, that is their great glory and great fortune, etc., etc. But it wasn't that Srila Prabhupada saw, oh, this devotee is better than my disciple number 4,000 or something. Srila Prabhupada's heart was very open that I love and affection for all of those whom my own Gurudev has sent to assist me in establishing the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Understand? So this is, I know in my case, my own Guru Pada Padma had also many, many disciples. But I felt always, of course I had a lot of intimate association with my Gurudev. I had that fortune because the Sangha was not so big at a certain time. But no matter who came at what period, they all relate that they felt a personal relationship with Srila Gurudev. Because that's what sane Bhakti Bhaktas have the ability to do. Sane Bhakti means like a general. And we have amongst our Acharya Varga, those who, by the nature of the commission given by Mahaprabhu and our Guru Vargas, had to take the role of sane Bhakti Bhaktas. Our Srila Prabhupada. He had to take many, many disciples to establish the mission of Mahaprabhu. My Gurudev also took many disciples in the furtherance of what was began by Srila Prabhupada. He took many disciples and helped many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples after the Samadhi Leela of our Srila Prabhupada. So sometimes this is a necessity that has to happen. But the general relationship, how many disciples did Rupa Goswami have? How many disciples Lokanath Goswami had? On the other hand, Narottam Das Thakur had many disciples. So according to circumstances, the numbers may vary, but the attitude does not change. What Lokanath Goswami showed to Narottam Das Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur showed to many others the same mood. This is the nature of what is meant by friendship with Guru and disciple. You understand? And if Guru has the vision of being the servant of Guru Parampara, does not have the abhiman of being Guru, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned clearly, one bhajan is written in, what is it? Oh, Tai Sisha Tava Takya Sarvada Guru Abhiman Tyaji. May I always see myself as the Sishya of my Gurudev. And may Guru Abhiman Tyaji means go very far away. I reject that idea. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is our model. You understand? So one should not have the idea I'm Guru and I have disciples. One should think I'm a servant in Guru Parampara and I've developed many friendships with loving, innocent persons. Some other persons have more, some scholars in Bhakti. But somehow or another, by love and affection, they've developed faith and reposed that Shraddha in me. You understand? And on behalf of the whole Guru Parampara, which I am simply a servant of, I am trying my best to be an open vessel for the mercy of Guru Parampara Mahaprabhu to come and to illuminate Bhakti. When Bhakti is illuminated, not only the disciples getting benefited. Guru's not, I'm giving you Bhakti. No. That Guru is also the recipient of Bhakti Shakti, Bhakti Kripa, by that seva. So Bhakti is doing everything. Harinam is doing everything. Guru Parampara, Guru Kripa is doing everything. Not somebody is, I'm giving you Bhakti. You understand? We're giving the Kripa which is invested by Parampara. Understand? That's all. Bas. So hopefully, Prabhu, I honored your request to answer the question publicly, and I haven't heard back yet, so I hope it was satisfying, just the personal answer. And now I've done it publicly, so you have a chance to look at it. And if anyone else saw the video, which was quite old, I think it was some time back, because I think I was traveling for preaching, and I had a really nice discussion with a very old devotee friend of mine, and he asked this question: how is it possible to have this kind of relationship? Because Guru should be seen in a certain light. So I spoke for quite a while that evening on the principle of Vishrambhena Guru Seva, and how ultimately the relationship has to come to a relationship of love. Because this is the nature of the relationship, actually. The relationship is not a social dynamic, it is a heart dynamic. And if the social dynamic exceeds or what should I say, obfuscates rather, the actual heart dynamic, then rather than bhakti being exchanged, what becomes exchanged is a social dynamic. And you can create a whole social dynamic like that in a large institution, and what happens is that rather than bhakti flowing, an idea of bhakti flows. The idea being, I have a guru, and I'm chanting, I'm practicing, so I should be getting bhakti. And the person accepting many, many disciples and no heart-to-heart connection, or there's a generalized idea heart connection just because I've performed the function, and I'm not really communicating bhakti, or I've taken on more disciples than I can actually communicate with and actually have a relationship with. You understand? Because I'm operating under a principle of guru. You understand? Principle of guru here means people have to take initiation, I'll just fill the spot. But I'm not actually going to be accountable to 10,000 people or 1,000 people that I initiate. Or I may think I am. Right? Because I've also had conversations with many people who their faith has undergone some crises because they don't have real relationship, actual tangible relationship with Guru. And then the excuse is given, well, many of us didn't have relationships like that with our Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada was always traveling, this and that. So you have to learn to serve Guru by his Vani. Everybody's not Srila Prabhupada. That's just real. Everybody's not Srila Prabhupada. And the particular empowerment that may be there in a saying Pati Bhakta to have the ability to illuminate the hearts of disciples even when they're at great distance, that may not necessarily be everybody's adhikar, even in performing the service of Guru. So you have to honor the principle that in Shastra says one should not take too many disciples. If organically the nature of your bhakti grows in such a way that it illuminates in such a broad field, that's one thing. But if that does not happen and you take too many disciples, then even if you don't notice it, your bhakti has some suffering that may go on. In fact, Guru Abhiman may become more prominent, which is the first symptom that bhakti is having problems. Secondly, the disciples' own faith may undergo crises because they'll be confused. Well, I can't take another guru, and in taking Shiksha Guru, what does that, you know what I mean? So it could cause some crises of faith. So ideal thing is, one should first of all understand what is Guru clearly, both Guru and disciple, and if possible to do mutual pariksha. It means examination. can this person really inspire bhakti for me, and can I repose my faith here safely? And on behalf of that person who's serving Guru Parampara, oh, will this disturb my bhajan life and cause Guru Abhiman to arise, and so forth. If there is no clarity on either side of that dynamic, better to wait. Better to wait. Understand? If there is clarity on both sides, then you can come together in great love and affection, and in the Sangha, where that great love and affection, based on the ideals of it, meaning the Sishya's thinking, this person is actually the representation, true representation of bhakti. This is my goal. I'm not looking to make that person God in my life. This is a mistake. And actually, Srila Prabhupada corrected this mistake early on in our ISKCON society. Because hearing this idea, Sakshat Haritvena, some started interpreting that the Guru is God himself, incarnate. Right? And Srila Prabhupada says, wait, no, this is completely opposidantic, this is completely wrong. You understand? So, even some subtle conceptual idea of that is also not good. Guru is a sevak, because our identity is dasosmi. So if Guru is not realized I'm dasosmi, but has the abhiman I'm a Guru, how is that going to help somebody to grow in the idea of themselves being dasosmi? If Guru is forgetting I'm dasosmi and thinking I'm Gurusmi, asmi means I am Guru. It's called Guru Abhiman, right? So if that is there, how do you understand I'm dasosmi? What happens to your own bhajan? You understand? In your own bhajan, you're aspiring to be dasa anudas, or you're aspiring for radha dasyam. But if your own chitta is clouded by Guru Abhiman, how that will happen? Therefore, actual gurus don't have Guru Abhiman. They're thinking, only I'm serving Guru Parampara, and I've developed love and affection. This soul has come to offer their heart to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Yugal. Oh, if I can help in any way, I will help. Oh, can you please give me Harinam and Diksha? Oh, certainly I will pass on the mantras of our Guru Parampara, and I will help in all ways. My Gurudev actually wrote me a letter once, because at that time he had not planned to come to the West. Oh, you'll come to India, I will help you in all ways. You understand? Help me to get bhakti. You understand? And this was my Guru Pada Padma's mood always, like this. So this is the mood anyone should have if they're doing this service, and disciples should also understand that. So etiquette should be there though. It doesn't mean we're void of etiquette. I mentioned this in the beginning, I'm not going to reiterate it, but there should be an idea that actually my Gurudev, according to Sastra Sakshat Haritvena, also Sarvadeva my old Guru, right? Jigyashu Shretumam, etc. All the verses, I should make relevant inquiries from this person because they are tattvavit, means they understand Siddhant, right? Because one function of Guru is explained by Rupa Goswami Pad. Sastra Yukti Sunipuna Jira Shara Yandra Uttamarikari se Tare Sansar. Here the word Uttamarikar means Uttamarikar in the eligibility for the practice of sudden bhakti. It doesn't mean Uttam Bhagavat. But a person who's Sastra Yukti Sunipuna, right, who knows Sastra, and Sastra Yukti means the logic and application of Sastra, and Drita Shara Yamra, their own faith is fixed in Dasosmi. Then Uttamarikari say, in the eligibility to practice bhakti, they're Uttam. And Tare Sansar, they can help others traverse the path of Sansar. Oh, Dandavat Kapila Prabhu, Dandavat Tirthadas, Dandavat Prabhuji. Haribol, I hope I get to see you in the summertime, both yourself and Southern Siddha Prabhu. I'm hoping everything works out for that. Okay, so that's the reality. And we should try to understand this element of Guru Tattva. Because to some degree, Guru Tattva has not been always clearly defined. And once it becomes institutionalized, it becomes a kind of robotic, institutional function. You join a group, okay, after you join a group for some time, the next thing is, what do you do? Well, Scripture says you should take initiations. All right, let's find a guru. I remember back in a certain period of time in the 80s, there became the idea, well, just take Diksha and Harinam from who's ever closest to you. What is that? The relationship with Guru should be inspired. You understand? It should be inspired. And over the course of time of mutual examination, then the relationship grows. It's not a matter of, okay, I was here for 6 months, okay, we're on the time frame for Harinam. All right, well, who's ever closest do you take from there? Or whoever is popular, because after that period of time of the sort of zonal thing, we came up with, or it evolved rather, not we came up with, but it evolved the whole idea. All right, well, by Vox Populi, who's charismatic, who's around, who's everybody likes this one. Okay, well, because I'm part of that group dynamic. So, I mean, Srila Prabhupada wrote completely the teachings of Guru Tattva. And if they're studied very well, right, of course, including the writings of our Purva Acharyas, previous Acharyas, then all of these things will be known. Srila Prabhupada quotes in the Adi Leela, chapter 1, text 35, in the purport he quotes Bhakti Sandarbha of Jiva Goswami Pad. One should not take initiation based on hereditary, customary, social, or ecclesiastical considerations. One should take under the genuine inspiration of spiritual understanding. So hopefully, Prabhu, this was helpful. I expanded a little more than actually was asked. But hopefully also for anybody who sees, as I mentioned earlier, the reference for this, or context for this tape, or video, was a video I did some time ago based on a conversation I had while I was traveling for preaching in the early part of the year. I just came back from traveling as well, but this was in the previous travel. And it was a really nice conversation with a really sweet devotee and his good wife. And he was asking this question because I brought it up there. And I mentioned it when I came back. And then from that video, somebody saw the question and it arose in their minds. How is it possible to have friendship with Guru? You understand? Because right now we've all been under the, not all, but the majority of people are under the idea the Guru-disciple relationship is a strictly bond of awe and reverence. And that actually there's no framework or no understanding under which the Guru and the disciple have a bond like a friend. But if you go back and look closely at the relationships of Lokanath and Narottam Das, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami Pad, and you go back and look at all kinds of intimate relationships between Guru and disciple, you'll see how much love and affection was the glue to those relationships. Not on reverence. On reverence is already there. Just like Krishna's Swayam Bhagavan, you cannot change that fact. But the Brijabasis have so much love for him that the idea he's Swayam Bhagavan is overwhelmed by the sweetness of that kind of love they have for them. And that's what we're cultivating as our goal. How will we not cultivate that in the relationship with Guru? So that's the simple answer. Okay. All right, my Dandavat Pranam, Vancha Kalpataruvesha, Kripashandavevacha, Patitanam Pavanevyo, Vaishnavevyo, Namo Namaha. Hope everyone has the Bhishma Panchak, starts today, these last 5 days of Kartik. Absorb yourselves in hearing and chanting. On Bhishma Panchak, there's so many different dietary things, extra fasting and so many things. But if you've already been following Kartik Mas, if you continue to follow Kartik Mas, and you'll simply increase your hearing and chanting, that is much more of a sort of exaltation, if you will, in your bhajan life during Kartik. No need to start adding so many different dietary things on and above what's ever going on in Kartik. If you have space and time mentally, you can, but if it disturbs your ability to hear and chant, better to make deeper your hearing and chanting. If you want to read the first canto, 9th chapter, which is the passing of Bhishma Dev, you can, because there are many deep verses that are also there. Particularly verse number 40, I believe it is, Lalita Gati Vilasa Falguhas. This is a verse where Bhishma Dev discusses the glory of the gopis. So then you might ask, how will Bhishma Dev know what is the gopis? How? Read. Later on, I'll answer that question. Okay? But many, many deep things are there. He gives Rajniti to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and then when he concludes, Rajniti means instructions how to rule the kingdom, right? And he also explains his own behavior when he was under the influence of Duryodhana and others, right? And it also is an excellent way to look at the dynamic of how Bhishma Dev, though being a Mahajan, how he operated in the space of being under the thumb, so to speak, for lack of a better word, of Duryodhana and company. But a lot has to do with material dynamics and spiritual dynamics. So there's a lot in Bhishma Panchak that you can meditate on. But especially getting to that verse, which is very deep, and it's explained in Ujjalindamani of Rupa Goswami Pad. But I'm not explaining here because it will go very, very far off of our track. I did explain something of it on our phone conference the other night. But anyway, that's another thing that you can do during Bhishma Panchak. You could read the first canto, chapter 9, the passing of Bhishma Dev, and you can meditate on his instructions, and also how he left this world, because Bhishma Dev had the ability to leave at his own will. So he was waiting for the sun to enter the northern course and wanted to leave then. So he fasts for these last 5 days, and he becomes absorbed. He sees the beautiful face and the beautiful form of Krishna, and he prepares his consciousness completely for his eternal meditation on the Lord. So you can read all of those things as your increased vrat in this Kartik Mas from Bhishma Panchak to the conclusion on the Purnima of Kartik Mas. All right, my Dandavats. Jai Radhe Radhe.